And we're live with an episode of Tiny Microphone. This wasn't even gonna be a tiny mic, but I'm like, I abandoned y'all, so I might as well like tiny mic it. I just wanted to do a reading out of the book. A couple people wanted me to do a reading at the book release party, but I didn't want to get overwhelmed and then end up spinning off. So I was just like, I'm gonna focus on one thing at a time, which was eating and like signing books. So it's like I'll save that, but I'm feeling like I can do it now, and I'm gonna try to do it without laughing. I'm gonna try to be so serious, and I really want to do it to like help y'all with some pronunciation and just show you like how the words sound in my head because y'all know this is a made up language. But yeah, I'm not gonna do it in the accent in which I hear when I was writing it because I want you to kind of create your own thing with your imagination. So I'm just gonna read it normally, and then when I switch to like a male character, don't laugh at me. I'm probably reading normal because I don't think I'm serious enough to do that. But yeah, here we go. Let's start. I'm about to clip this onto me. Tyler Perry. No. See? No. Be serious. All right, let's get into it. The Blessed by Imani Khalifa. Just dive in. Oh, dedicated to Tristan Keys. If you know, you know. He always wanted me to write a book, a poetry book, but I had to one up him. Chapter 1. All right, excuse me if I stumble and stutter and stuff. I don't read out loud. We have covered every single body of water just atop the mountains that surround our village, at least without passing beyond the forbidden borders, that is. As if my luck in this lifetime has not already been unfortunate, my brothers and I were the ones awarded the duty of providing food for the Malay people, a duty granted to us by the Mjulo themselves, according to my tribe. Jilted to the dry, sanded plains, and still they grasp onto the belief of the ancestors. I myself have lost faith that they ever truly even existed at all. Seeking food before sunset's meal is a chore I often dread, but gathering enough food to store during the hours of the moon is nearly impossible, so it is a chore that must be done with each rising. Things were not always hard for us. In fact, we were once greater than royalty. We were nearly equal to the gods, known as the gifted and divine people of Meleketawi, born with powers and riches, chosen by Iwa at the beginning of all creation. Stepping over carcass in the middle of scorching dry lands brings doubt to me as to how true that just may be. Look alive, Ide! Kimba, my eldest brother, yells out, pulling me back to the hunt. His dark skin glistens beneath the beaming sun. Scars from previous huntings, when the prey were much more exciting, mark his bare chest. They may be the closest he will ever wear to true battle wounds, and he wears them proudly as if they are so. Standing half a foot higher than us all, he scopes out a small body of water up ahead before we get the chance to. It is not much, but at least it, well, but at least we will find fish big enough to feed the people. Still lingering at his words, I roll my eyes at his use of the term Ide, a title for children in our native tongue. I am no Ide to anyone, I say back to him. I am the God you will worship once I gather more fish than you all. I take off sprinting, nearly stumbling to the ground while passing them by. Pressing my legs to the hard, burnt red dirt with my maximum strength, I run with the confidence of Umjozo. He holds, oh, he holds speed far more impressive than any I have ever seen, with the calf muscles to match those of a cheetah, but my confidence serves me not nearly enough to compare to him. Within seconds, a flash of thick, long dreadlocks flies by with a quick wave. Allah Shibar! Between his dashing speed and his uncontrollable laughter, I barely grasp the words he throws out to me. Farewell, sister. It is as if a stampede rushes by, leaving nothing but dust and sand and a trace of where his body once stood. I am far from shocked that he now leads our playful race with such ease. Back home in the village, the beautiful women who seek to be wed find much joy in watching him race, among reasons beyond his speed, I assume. You cheat, all of you, I yell, gasping for air, knowing I never truly stood a chance at all. By the time I approach the water, Ogunnife, the youngest of the boys but the elder of me, holds up his almost full bag of trout as he taunts me. If I had to say your place in the family's duties, I would say you are more of a company keeper than an actual help for hunting. With his perfect teeth, he shoots a playful smirk my way. To our people, his title is the protector, the weapon, the gatekeeper, but to me, he is simply Ife. Warrior by sight, but a playful baby cub at heart. And although he speaks with a joking tongue, he often speaks nothing less than the truth. My skills have never been that much of a hunter, a warrior by nature, but my true desires have never led me to this path. It is only in this time with my brothers that I find much delight in their company, the only time that I am allowed to be free with those who hold little to no judgment towards my being, a true moment's peace in the separation from the tribe. When our bags fill with all the fish that we are able to collect, we trail back home through the path that leads up and around the small mountains, rushing to return before sundown. I stop briefly to feel the warm breeze slip through my dreadlocked hair that hangs just past my shoulders. Crisp, crisp winds press against my skin like a soft hug as I stand at the edge of a rocky cliff. I inhale and close my eyes while picturing the greenery that once filled the grounds of my village. Slowly opening my deep slanted eyes, one green and the other amber, just like my brother's, I am forced back to the reality of what we have become. Deeply I exhale with pain, with disappointment, with defeat. Hmm. The once beautiful land of Meleketawi now sits in a void of sand and dust surrounded by mountains that cling on to dying trees and brittle shrubs. Dry riverbeds that leave trails leading to nothing other than more abandoned bodies of water. Far beyond our borders are rumors of swamps, waterfalls, and mystical wonders, but for reasons of safety, we may never travel such a distance. Straw and twig huts now house the few hundred people who once stood tall by the thousands alongside walls of castles and mansions. In a land where animals were protectors, riders, and companions, not food used for our survival. Meleketawi people with the deepest root carried the darkest skin like the sky of the moon's hours, and hair that could connect to the earth like the roots of a giant. Gifts and abilities beyond mortal understanding, or so I am told. I lack any memory of life before the tethering. In fact, we all do. The only things we have now are fables and tales from the yall, the eldest of the elders, who somehow were the only ones allowed to hold memories of our past after the tethering. Sadly for them, those are the only memories they were allowed to keep. Now they live stuck within a prison of their own minds, forced to relive a past that no one else could even begin to imagine, if it is in fact the memories of a true past at all. Their tales claim that we once ate food that grew from vines of tall trees. I laugh at the thought of a bull hanging from a measly branch. They also say that we summoned our gifts at will and fought with the power of the gods and ancestors, though now we sleep on hard cots and hide away starving. If there is truth to these memories, to the memories they keep, the only other option to believe is that we have wasted our lives serving a God who cares so little for us and our well being. Haiba, oh gunny face, deep voice tears me from my drifting thoughts. It is almost time for sunset's meal. No more gazing at the sky god. We have food to deliver. My spine chills with shame each time my title falls upon my ears, a title that I have not once felt suitable to wear. I reach down and lift the bag of fish and ugh, I reached down to lift the bag of fish with vexation as I pictured the scaly flesh hitting my tongue yet again for what feels to be the 100th time. What I would give to taste anything that differs from this. It has been far too long since we have found deer or any meat big enough to feast amongst the villagers with. Unclear of how they pretend to be so satisfied with such measly catch, I struggle to hide my bitter tongue any longer. I do not gaze at the sky, for I know there is no God there. I gaze at the filth of land we try to call home. My rolling eyes only straighten to align with the gleam of pity sent back in return for my irreverence. I think that's enough. If you haven't got your copy, go get it. It's a really cool book. I might do another reading. Who knows? We also have a book club going too. But yeah, I love that. Thanks for joining.